Let's see how many people join in and when they join in. Ooh. Hmm. It usually takes people a little bit to get in, especially when they know I'm never ready. I'm never ready. But hey, at least I can see. Oh, maybe, maybe. Am I being blocked again? We'll find out. Damn, I want to go back to sleep. Hello to whoever just jumped in. Don't be shy. Say hello. Maybe it's Savvy. Maybe it's Savvy lurking. Oh no, what's going on? I'm waiting for more people to come in. Hello, huh? Hello, Raphael. How you doing? Oh shit, 12 people all of a sudden just bam. Um, all right, so today's gonna be kind of a short stream, not too short, but a little bit of short. We're gonna be talking the do's and don'ts of the paranormal world, things that you shouldn't be doing compared to things that you possibly can do. Um, I'm all for going out, investigating stuff like that. You know, pick where you're going, know what you're doing, stuff like that. The things I cannot stress enough when going out on an investigation. Do not go in with the intent of conjuring anything up, appeasing anything there. Nothing there wants to be your friend. Okay, no matter where you're at, whether you're in a house, in the woods, in a graveyard, nothing wants to be your friend there, regardless. Okay, do not do rituals that you do not understand, appeasing the spirits that you don't know what's there. That never turns out good for anybody. Okay. Um, what's going on, small head? Yo, 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 Gabby, Gabby, Gabby. Um, I can never stress enough when you go someplace and somebody says, "Hey, I have an idea." That's the first red flag. Okay, I'm talking about the do's and don'ts of paranormal stuff. Small head. Um, Never take anybody's word that it would be a good idea to do a ritual for something that you don't understand that's there. What's going on, Popcorn, Gojo? Hope everybody's doing okay. Um, you never know what might be lurking. If you're in a house, an abandoned house or abandoned building, you don't know what other people have done inside that building, so you don't know what's actually there. You go out to the woods and start doing that, you don't know what's in them woods. You don't know what spirits might be lurking around. Um, if you do something like that, the only thing that you're going to do is create chaos in your life, chaos that you don't want. What's going on, him? Uh, there are a couple of people I watch on YouTube. They're good ladies. They normally do things pretty much by the book. I'm not gonna throw hate on them. Uh, him, you don't watch out, you're gonna end up getting tagged by my moderator. Uh, but I know they did a investigation not too long ago. I totally agree with or disagree with what they did. They went in there and started doing things that they shouldn't have been doing, messing with things that they shouldn't have been messing with. One of them should have known better, but did it anyway. I don't agree with that. If you're going to do an investigation, you have to do it respectfully, not come after the spirits going, hey, I'm going to appease them by doing a ritual. Again, because you're going to open doors that you don't know are there. And for some people, you might want to keep those doors closed. Uh, Thank you, Gabby. Yes. Um, well, if you're someplace and you're investigating someplace that has clowns, then yeah, then clowns only. But uh, if if you do get to an investigation area, and again, if somebody says, "Hey, I've got a great idea, let's do this," my advice: turn around, walk away. So what you're telling me, Gabby, if we get you to the Garnett house, no dressing up as a clown and jumping out of a dark room. Uh, I wouldn't do that. Trust me, I would not do that. I like to play around on investigations, but as soon as the cameras start rolling, the playing around stops. It's serious time at that point. Um, Not unless if I want to be back, like fake Baggins, and all of a sudden I'm getting possessed everywhere I go. But that's neither here nor there. I get that. I get that, Gabby. I don't get scared very often either. It takes a lot to do that. Um, the one thing that would scare me though is if I was doing an investigation someplace and somebody decided that they wanted to do some sort of ritual. I'm gonna get scared. I'm gonna walk out, like literally walk out, because I don't know what's been done there beforehand. I don't know what's lurking around at said location. Um, I do try to be very, very respectful. Now, granted, at the Sally House, I wasn't quite as respectful as I probably should have been, but I've been there before, and I know to actually get something from the Sally House, sometimes you just have to be outright rude to it for it to interact. Sometimes you don't, but most of the time you do. And well, that's why I did what I did, because, like I said, I'd been there before, so I already knew what the download was on the Sally House. We go to the Garnett House. I've never been there to the Garnett House, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be respectful to whatever's there until it gives me a reason not to be. Um, and we're going to hope that don't happen. We're going to hope even the spirits are going to be respectful. Um, I'm actually surprised Savvy ain't in here right now. Hold on, I gotta grab something. There we go. Um, Now with that other group, Gabby knows who I'm talking about when I say other group that we watched. Again, one of them should have known better than to be doing what they were doing, and they did end up having to go back to try to apologize and everything else, because, well, whatever was there was messing with them hard after the investigation. Um, which you never want that to happen, because, again, when it comes to leaving an investigation, you want what is there to stay behind. You don't want it following. Even though you can set ground rules about you're not allowed to follow me home, well, you disrespect them. Well, guess what? They're gonna disrespect you, and they're not gonna grant your wish by staying behind. They're gonna follow you. They're gonna torment you to the point where you're gonna be like, enough is enough. Um, Hello, banana and toaster. Um, I hope you're doing well today. Now, picking a location, that's kind of like up in the air on which locations are best for you to pick. Um, Everybody's different. I mean, if it's your first time ever to do an investigation, I wouldn't suggest going someplace like the Sally House or Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum or Eastern State Penitentiary. I wouldn't suggest going to them places. I am 48 years old. Um, I would pick someplace that's kind of easy for your first time to do an investigation because there is a lot of stuff that goes into it. And no, it's not like everything that you see on TV where everything goes real fast and everything. No, there are long stretches where nothing happens. It's totally boring. You're sitting around trying to figure out what's your next plan of attack. Thank you, Banana and Toaster. Um, if if you decide you want your first location to be someplace where you're possibly going to get a lot of activity, that's up to you. But always keep in mind that you got to go in with an open mind. Do not go in with a closed mind, or else nothing will happen, or the reverse will take into effect, where whatever is there might target you to let you know open your mind because not everything is black and white in this world, regardless. You might think it is, but it's really not. I would say for somebody's first time doing an investigation, go someplace easy. If that means you go out into a cemetery late at night without getting arrested, do not get arrested doing it. Some cemeteries, they do have times that you can be in there and that you can't be in there. If there's a gate around it, do not jump the gate to go in there because you probably will be arrested for trespassing. Do not break into abandoned buildings or abandoned houses. Just don't do it because nothing good comes from that. Now, if you find an old cemetery someplace that doesn't have a gate around it, no times are posted, go on in, sit down, make sure you have some equipment with you. Uh, I am talking about the do's and don'ts of paranormal investigations, Banana and Toaster. I want people to actually, if if they actually want to do it, to do it properly and respectfully. Don't break the law in getting in someplace to do an investigation. It never ends well for you. The people might be with you. Um, you end up getting a criminal record for trespassing. Granted, a trespassing arrest is a misdemeanor, okay, but it still goes on your record. And if you're trying to keep a clean record, you just destroyed that. I would say if you pay to go someplace to do an investigation, there are a lot of places out there that you can pay to go in and investigate. I would say never pay over $300 a person. Uh, if you're paying more than $300 a person, you're basically getting ripped off. Okay, there are locations out there. I'm not going to name the locations, but I've looked them up because they're dream locations for me to go and investigate. Okay, one of them is $1,200, and you only get to investigate for an hour. I'm sorry, what are you going to get in an hour? Okay. There are places where it's like, hey, we'll let you investigate for 4 hours for $1,200. No, no. Even though that $1,200 is like for the entire group, it's still not worth it. Okay. Um, when this last time I went to the Sally house with a bunch of people, I think the total price that we paid was like $500, something like that. It wasn't ridiculous. It ended up being like 125 a person. So it wasn't horribly bad. It was actually pretty good, and we got to stay there the entire night. We could sleep there if we want, which, okay, it ended up being me and another person that stayed there overnight, all night. Now, we didn't sleep because we ended the investigation with like 2 hours before basically we would have had to have been up, get everything packed up, and get out of there. So we were up all night investigating. Um, but when you do go in, you always got to be respectful. You got to be respectful to the house. Or building. You got to be respectful to whatever's there. Uh, Banana and toaster. That's all up to you. I mean, I don't do these for big views. I don't do investigations for big views. I mean, the investigations that I've done that I've put on here, I look at it this way: if people watch them, people watch them. No, no skin off my back. I mean, basically, I am a truck driver, yes, but also a paranormal investigator. So when I got time, I do investigations. Um, which I may do one this weekend. I may do one tomorrow night. I'm not sure yet. Um, but I mean, that's all up to you. If you want to try to get your friends in here, go for it. Um, but back to getting to an investigations. When you get into a house or a building, be respectful to that house and or building and whatever spirits may be there. Okay. Now, me personally, I don't use Ouija boards or anything like that. I'm not opposed to it for some places if somebody wants to use one. Be my guest. I won't be the one doing it with you, but be my guest. Um, Doing rituals that you don't understand. That's where I got a problem. Okay. When you go someplace and you've done looked up a ritual on different things and you just kind of put it together, give it whatever you've made up as an offering, and you're sitting there reading off words to complete this ritual, you are opening yourself up to a whole lot of trouble because toaster and banana, awesome. Um, but you're opening yourself up to a whole bunch of problems. Okay, because say somebody went in there before you. It could be weeks, could be days, could be months. Hell, it could even be years. Say they did something that they opened up paranormal doors that they should have left closed, and now all of a sudden you're sitting here doing a ritual. You go through the entire investigation, everything is hunky dory, barely got anything from the entire investigation. Now you go home and you realize your life has been turned upside down because you've got all sorts of things happening back, one after the other, back to back, and you can't figure out why. Well, I can tell you it's probably because if you did that ritual and whatever spirits may have been there and whatever may have been brought in from somebody else, they may not have liked that, and now they're coming after you. Okay. You don't want that because, again, it causes a whole bunch of problems for you, your family, everybody. Okay. It's the paranormal world can be fun. It's serious though, and it deems the respect that it should have. Okay. Not respecting it is almost like walking into a police station and you walk in with a AK-47 unloaded, but you start giving the cops the finger. You know, um, hello Raja. If if you want that kind of excitement in the paranormal world, I would say find yourself trying to investigate with Zach Bagans or Fake Bagans, as I call him. Um, because then you're gonna see him get possessed just about every freaking investigation because he swears up and down he's being possessed every investigation that he's on. Uh, I don't care if he sees this. I hate that prick. I mean, he is doing nothing but damaging the paranormal world. Uh, hey, Toaster and Bananas, before you go, uh, check the description of this episode later on. I'm going to put the link to my Discord channel in the description. That way you can get more paranormal talking from the Discord as well. Um, I mean, sorry, I had to check the time, making sure I'm on track. Um, all right, later, Toaster and Bananas. Um, I don't want to see anybody go down the wrong path in the paranormal field. Okay. Uh, I really don't. I want to see the paranormal field grow more, but with honest investigators. People that are gonna give it the respect that it deserves. I'm not throwing shade on anybody but Zach Bagans. Um, Everybody has their own style of doing things. That's why this other team that we watch, it kind of threw me when they did what they did. I was not expecting them to do that because they're usually pretty careful. I'm not saying that I'm gonna quit watching them for doing that. Now, their last two episodes I didn't watch all the way because, you know, one, they did the ritual, then they went back to try to apologize, which I do agree with going to apologize. Okay. But for some spirits, apologizing is basically slapping them in the face. They don't want to hear it because they look at it as, well, you've already done messed up, so why are you back? I mean, I hope that since they apologized, everything works for them, but I'm not sure. Um, Sorry, no, I'm not. I'm not ignoring everybody. I'm looking at the time. How much time? Um, if if for some reason you do go in someplace and you feel uncomfortable, walk out. Don't run out. Walk out, and make sure as you're walking out, you make it very clear that whatever's there is not allowed to follow you. It has to stay there. A lot of people don't do that. I do. I do that. I mean, I granted I got things following me around all the time now, so it is nothing to me if I forget. But yeah, keeping an open mind, doing what you need to do, be respectful. Don't don't taunt the spirits or whatever may be there unless if you've been there before and you know what you're up against. Research, yes, do your research. Um, I mean, okay, I might get flagged for this one on YouTube, but you don't want to go in someplace without any kind of research and get taken by surprise. And you know what? I'm just gonna uh, censor this word, but you don't want to get raped by a ghost. Okay, do your research. Um, yes, consult with fellow hunters if needed. Consult with people that have may have lived there, people that work there. If it's a place that you got to go and pay for to get in there, you got to know what you're up against. You don't want surprises. Uh, so would that backup plan be caught screaming and yelling and running down the road with your hands flailing above your head, saying no, no, no? Um, I mean, or backup plan C. Just just sit there and say, nope, I think I'm possessed. Um, yeah, no, we don't need anybody screaming and running down the street with their arms flailing above their heads. Um, the backup plan at that point would just be to walk out civilly without making a spectacle of yourself. You don't need to be doing this whole dude run thing from like Ghost Hunters when Brian ran out of Eastern State Penitentiary. Um, you don't need that. That just looks bad. Especially if it's your first time to ever investigate and you go running out of someplace and the people you go with are looking at you like, why is he running? Um, if anything, sorry, I'm wondering what the hell is going on. There we go. There we go. Setting my alarm. Sorry, everybody. Squirrel. Uh, I do have to get to work here for too long. That's why I said tonight. Today's wasn't going to be very long. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to. Okay, if you get scared at someplace, you walk out calmly and admit that you were in over your head on doing an investigation. Welcome back, Toaster and Banana. Um, you never you never want to stay in an investigation that you don't feel comfortable with at any time. It's okay to admit defeat and say it wasn't for me. Um, there's been a few places I've been to where I've literally done that. Said nope, I don't need to be at this location. I don't need to be here. Um, it never will look bad, especially if you're going for your first time. If you go with a full fledged team that you found to be able to go with, they would actually respect you more if in the middle of the investigation, if you walk up to one of them and say, "Hey, this ain't for me. I need to get out of here." They're gonna respect that. My name is Damien. Uh, and in fact, hey Gabby, can you put the link to Discord in the chat for me? I would greatly appreciate it. Uh, most paranormal teams, now granted, most of them they're tight knit. That a lot of them don't allow outsiders to join them. Some will, some will. Uh, some will be like, yeah, sure, come join us. Your first investigation will make sure you have a good night. All right, banana and or toaster and banana. Uh, my moderator just posted the link to my Discord channel. That way, if you want to, you can go in. We always got stuff going on over there about paranormal. You'll get updates for investigations that I'll be doing. You'll get notifications for when I'll be going live. Uh, Gabby, that's just wrong. Tell me have fun with work. No, uh-uh. There, there is no fun with work. Work is work. Um, I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah, we've always got something going on and everything. Now, granted, during the daytime, it's usually a little quiet because like I work. You know, people are always in and out though. Sorry, I'm having a squirrel moment because well, I keep seeing people walk in front of my dang truck and it's like freaking me out. Um, oh shit. Uh, I would hope the hair-toed ghost goblin. I'm hoping he don't show up. I mean, he is not a fun partner to be dealing with. Um, but I mean, we're gonna be going. Me and a few other people were getting it set up where we go to the Garnett House, which is in Kansas. Okay, the Garnett House I've never been to, so when I go in, I'm gonna be respectful. I'm not gonna scream and holler at the ghosts or the spirits there. Um, I'm not going to act a fool. I'm just not. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna be respectful. Um, Now, granted, the video I have on here on YouTube from the Sally House, I did that investigation live. The entire thing was live. I didn't have the right setup at that point, but I will for the Garnett House when I get there. I will have this correct setup for that one. Um, we just gotta figure out a date because one of the people going, they live in another state, and she's got to make sure that she's got that time off. Um, exactly. I mean, exactly. um, but I mean, when you if you go over to the Discord channel, we've got different areas for or different things for different areas. We do try to make it fun. It's a family environment. Um, Gabby's a hoot over there. Yeah, matter of fact, all my moderators over there are really awesome. Some of my here today, crap, nothing like dropping lid to your drink. Um, but no, when doing investigations though, you want to be as respectful as you physically can, and one of the biggest ways to do that, I have found out, don't fa so you don't fo. I mean, honestly, that's the biggest thing I can say. Don't FA and you won't FO. Because if you go into uh, a house that you paid for to go in and to investigate, okay, especially if it's a known house that has activity in it, if when you walk in, just remember whatever is residing at that house still, that is their house. I mean, treat it as if you were going to your grandma's house or your parents' house. You're going to be respectful. You're going to do things that are not going to create waves. Oh shit! All my jokes would get me kicked off YouTube, man. I'm Gen X. My jokes would literally get me kicked off YouTube. Um, but you want to make sure that you want to be respectful as much as possible. Now, sometimes I can understand you start getting frustrated and you kind of slip up and you do something that's disrespectful. I can understand that. It happens. Uh, but you don't want to make it a habit. All right, here we go. Here's one joke that I don't think is going to get me kicked off YouTube. Okay. A midget walks into a bar and says, ouch. How's that one? That one won't get me kicked off YouTube. Um, at least I don't think it will. It might, but I don't think it will. Um, but oh wait, it might because you really can't say midget anymore. People get offended by that. But but yeah, you just got to make sure that everything that you do is respectful, down to even when leaving the property that you're at, which is another number number one big rule. When you go out on a paranormal investigation, you do the entire investigation and at the end of the night or next morning, whatever it is that you want to leave. Do not take a souvenir from that investigation, whether it be a piece of the house or a rock or whatever. You know, leave everything there. Take only what you brought. Do not take souvenirs from a paranormal investigation. Because now that you've done that, you may tell whatever's there that it can't follow you, but you gave it an open door by taking something from the investigation. At that point, you would only have yourself to blame because a whole bunch of stuff could actually come up from that. Damn, I think it might actually rain. Um, I don't, I, Gabby, I don't think your storm made it all the way up here. I know it was raining all like hell the other day in North Carolina. Um, but yeah, don't take anything from an investigation. Leave it all there. It's not worth it. Look, I'm not gonna say I'd be opposed to like a category 30 hurricane hitting the shoreline and making it all the way up to Ohio. Not saying I would be opposed to that. People here might be opposed to it, but I wouldn't. Uh, or Category 30 hurricane hit like Washington D.C. Um, but no, it's one of those deals that you need to make sure that you know what you're doing when it comes to the paranormal world. And if you don't, it never hurts to ask. Ask questions. Is this okay to do? Should I do this? Should I go here? Never hurts to ask questions. If if you're with a team investigating and they don't want to hear you asking questions, it's not the right team to be with. Now, I can understand if you're asking questions when they want it completely quiet. I can understand that. But just asking questions should be a big red flag if they don't want you to do it. I mean, it's as simple as that. And I'm gonna have to tell Mr. Gray Day that he's fired. He forgot to come in today. Um, 4, 5. Got about what 6 minutes before I have to get out of here. But I mean, oh, another thing about investigating. When you go to investigations, make sure you bring drinks, snacks, everything else. Because a lot of times, most investigations are all overnight, obviously, and there's not going to be a whole lot of places open when you want to take a break. And yes, breaks are taken during investigations because of the whole fact of you can't just train wreck yourself right through an investigation for 8 hours and not take a break. Okay, breaks are advised. Um, but you also got to remember during the long times of inactivity, when there's nothing going on, take that moment as a break. You know, because you never know what's going to happen when it's going to happen. Now, sometimes shit just happens randomly when you're least expecting it, which sucks, but I get it. But no, and that's why I said today was going to be short because I knew I had to get to work and everything later on. So I still got to drive to Kentucky. Yes, driving to Kentucky. Granted, I'm only, I tell you, maybe 7 hours, about 7.5 hours from where I'm at right now to where I got to go to in Kentucky. So, not too bad. Nothing crazy. But, no, but with that, I'm going to leave you guys with these words that I cannot stress enough. Be respectful when investigating. That's it. Just be respectful because when it comes down to it, you don't want your life all messed up. You don't want your family members suffering because you got to remember, it's not just going to come after you. It's going to come after your family members as well. So, but with that, everybody, I bid you good day. Go out, touch some grass, be one with nature. Tell a loved one hi. Tell them that you're thinking about them. Tell them that you love them. And I will see everybody on the next live stream and or on the next investigation, whichever one happens first. I mean, like I said, I may investigate when I get down to Kentucky. Not sure, but anyway, I want everybody to have a good day, though. Be well.